Hello everyone, and welcome to part 3 of Ambition, a Minway in Power. My name is GustShrugs, part of the Snugs and Shrugs YouTube channel, and welcome on in to the third installment. Let's get right into it. You wake up to the sound of someone knocking on your door downstairs. Before you can even get up, you hear Camille cheerily call out, "I'll get it." When she answers the door, you hear her spend a minute talking with a man whose harsh voice you don't recognize. When their conversation finishes, Camille heads up to your room. "Madame, we need to talk about the rent and my wages." "What would you like me to do?" Do we have to?" "And who is that at the door?" Let's find out who that was at the door. "That was our landlord, Monsieur Riquet. He was asking after this week's rent, which is odd because I know that Monsieur Armand already paid a healthy advance on our week's rent, and that we should still be fine for the rest of the month." Monsieur Armand used to say of our landlord. What was it? Camille asked herself, tapping her chin. Ah, yes. He said our landlord would sell his own soul for a handful of liras, and that he'd still be getting the better deal for it. Well, we didn't need to pay him this week, but next week we need to have 35 liras for our rent and 5 liras for my wages, or we could be in trouble. You will now need to pay both your rent and the wages of your servants every week, or deal with damage to your credibility, or perhaps even peril. Okay. Is there anything else, madame? No, Camille. Just breakfast will be fine. With that, Camille heads downstairs to make you breakfast, and you're left to wonder how you'll take care of this. Okay, so it's the 29th. We have a wine tasting today. Oh boy. What does the wine tasting want? Accepted it. It's a bourgeoisie party. They like habit de cour, sometimes like robes and robes. Okay. Well, I don't have that. Robes de cour and robes. I don't have any of that. This is the novelty as well. Maybe we'll wear this one because it's +5 for bourgeoisie. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the wine tasting. As your carriage nears the party, you consider taking one last moment to assess your preparations. Assess preparations. You check a tiny mirror you keep in the carriage to see what you're wearing. Your robe à la française to a party being held by the bourgeoisie. The guests approve of your outfit and your credibility has increased. Okay, good. With preparations like this, tonight should be a largely positive affair. You step down out of your carriage and hear the ripple of whispers that signal your arrival to any social event these days. There's a small line in the vestibule as guests are waiting to get in. While you're standing in this line, you manage to overhear an interesting rumor. You make a mental note of it just in case. You have gained a piece of cheap bourgeoisie gossip. You're neither well rested nor exhausted. Nothing is holding you back from doing your best in this game of wits. A servant checks your invitation and everything seems to be in order. Nod to her and enter the party. She curtsies to you as you pass her by and enter the party. Now let the games begin. Okay, so this is our wine tasting. So we need to figure out what we're going to be doing here. There's 2 turns in the wine tasting. Oh, this is our friend down here. We could probably go talk to her with this guy. -2 to 3 honorade favor. -10 to 10 credibility. While she would clearly rather be anywhere else. So what about this one? Cheap bourgeoisie gossip. Oh, I can make some money. Something scandalous. What about this one? Cheap bourgeoisie gossip. 10 to 5 credibility. Peril. Sufficient funds. Every group has ways of measuring one's worth and whether they deserve to belong. With the aristocracy, it's a title. With the church, it's faith. With the bourgeoisie, it's simply money. One guest is here to remind you of such things. Ew, no thanks. I don't have any money. Someone is absolutely bursting at the seams with a desire to discuss something concerning the host. But only with those who know the host well. You might not, but when has such triviality ever stopped you? Let's go to the money one. I want to get some money. You notice a woman approaching you, and you sense some sort of amorous intent from her. But something about the whole situation feels off. Yeah, let's do it. You find yourself in a relatively secluded room, stealthily surveying the area to see if there's anyone particularly important that you should be introducing yourself to. Introducing yourself is, of course, a mild breach of decorum. However, you have neither the time nor the patience for such things when there's work to be done. Your ears perk up at the sounds of someone whispering behind you. While you can't make out the words themselves, it almost sounds like a frantic argument. One with a sudden resolution. A woman suddenly approaches you, appearing at the corner of your vision. Bonsoir, Madame Dussault. I'm sorry to approach you so suddenly, but I was wondering something. But I, of course, mean to say we, she adds quite hurriedly. Of course, how does any of this strange rambling even resemble something that ends with of course? Have you two come to a decision? A man asks impatiently, also entering the conversation from outside of your field of vision. I was just getting to that, she hisses at her partner. I don't know what you two are plotting, but you have my attention. Whatever foolishness this is, I really don't have time for it. And excusez-moi, but who is this man, and why are we listening to him? Well, you see, my husband and I are a lively but discreet married couple, and you're an interesting woman. And very attractive. Oh my goodness, they're swingers! Her husband interjects over her. I don't know why you had to bring that up right this second, she replies irately, and the two of them pause to bicker amongst each other in whispers for a minute or so, while you sip your wine in silence. Where was I? You see, we have been looking for a woman like yourself to join us. It takes a moment for you to put their insinuations together, not because you've never heard of a ménage à trois. It's just that you didn't think you'd be approached about one by a pair of desperate strangers. In a way, the proposal is almost adorable. Most well-to-do couples that grow this tired of each other usually just skip straight to silent, furious adultery. Still, you don't know why you'd want to act as a stand-in just to rekindle their flagging desire. Yeah, what exactly am I going to get out of this? After such a paltry attempt at winning my heart? No. I must confess I have no idea what you're talking about. Medium credibility challenge. I don't think that will... Should we try it? I'm gonna try it. What exactly would you want? Ah, fantastique. I'll go find our coachman. We'll retreat to our home and... What? You want to leave right now? We haven't even greeted the host yet, or determined what she... Ugh. You're doing this again. I'm doing what? Please, pray tell, what am I doing? The switch, it's called. An argument between the two of them flares up almost instantly, and they hastily excuse themselves for a moment. You sigh as they disappear into another room. If nothing else, this particular type of scandalous foolishness makes for great gossip. You've gained a cheap piece of bourgeoisie gossip. Before you walk away, you catch the glint of something shiny on the floor. Did one of them drop their coin purse? And we've gained 24 liras. You swiftly tuck the money into your pockets. You consider feeling guilty, but the recent memory of their presumption removes such thoughts from your mind. Left to your own devices once more, you stop to wonder how these sorts of things keep happening to you. It's true. I'm just some like pretty girl that's brand new in Paris, and all these people are being... Oh, she looks devious. Madame Gazel is speaking to some woman named Joanna. Something about seeing those two together is putting you on edge. Ooh. What about this one? Oh wow. Look at all this gossip. A gregarious woman seems to have exactly the sort of rumors you're looking for, but first you'll have to stave off the blundering boast of a young sugar magnate. Let's do it. Oh, I can only lose credibility though? Or not lose at all. Is it worth it? I think it's worth it. Let's give it a go. Let's check other. Feigned acquaintance. Someone's bursting at the seams with the desire to discuss something. Okay, so hasn't changed. Outrageous crown gossip. A messenger has arrived at the door bearing pressing information. This scandalous news might be worth quite a bit, if one were to obtain it. I wonder. Should we do this one? This one. Let's go big. Let's see if we can handle it. You find yourself in the middle of a conversation with a particularly energetic guest. She flits easily between social circles and has a disarming laugh that seems to make people feel comfortable enough to just trust her implicitly. Perhaps you can practice such a laugh later. She's currently in the middle of regaling you with a rumor that she's heard over the course of her various dalliances. It feels likely to be the cheap sort, but relevant to the bourgeoisie. Just as she's about to reach the story's climax, a man suddenly enters your conversation. Good afternoon, mesdames. Allow me to interrupt you for a moment to propose a toast. To my sugar importing company. We're having a very successful year, you see. Ah, you'll both be so excited to hear what we have planned for the next season, he says, not even waiting for either of you to respond. If this boor keeps talking, you'll never get to hear the end of her story. I'm glad to see you in such high spirits. If that's true, you'll love to hear my friend's story. I'm sorry, madame, what were you saying before you were interrupted? Oh, it can increase my peril. Ah, yes, to your sugar importing company. I don't feel like I have enough credibility to win this, because I didn't win the last one. Ah, yes, to your sugar importing. Let's do a little bit of peril. We haven't done it yet, so let's see. Excusez-moi, he asked, taken absolutely aback. We've gained 10 peril. You've gained some peril. While perilous decisions can often get you what you want, if your peril bar fills up, then it means something unfortunate will happen to you. Be careful with how much you take on. Okay. So I can have some. Now I remember, she says, and resumes the telling of her story. You've gained a piece of cheap bourgeoisie gossip. With her story told and its relevant details memorized, you stay and listen to the encroaching entrepreneur's various boasts about his company's success. He is every bit as unbearable as you initially suspected. Sometimes it's awful to be right. Thankfully, you manage to find a way to tactfully excuse yourself and get as far away from him as possible. Okay, so we must have, like, I don't know why I couldn't get anything more than just the cheap gossip. So the 2 pieces of gossip, and we got 5 credibility out of it, and we got 24 liras, but we also got 10 peril. So the gossip we got, some representatives from the Third Estate have gotten free rooms to stay in from a prominent hotelier. However, they've been staying for a long time. Is this a sign of friendship, or are the representatives taking advantage of their host? And the other gossip, a coalition of members of the bourgeoisie have been investing a large amount of money in hot air balloons. Are they visionaries, or are they just wasting money on ridiculous fancies? Okay, and then now we're on the next day. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 days now before we go to the next event, which is a it's a crown event. And they like caraco ensembles and or conservative gowns and robes a la polonaise. So we don't have anything like that. So we've got to get some gossip, we got to sell some gossip, we got to get a new outfit, all in 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Okay. I think we can do that. Reaching maximum. Oh yeah, right, because there's the, or researching maximum, there's an objective, right? Jordan, Hessian Dorman, minions and misdirection. We should probably sell a little bit of gossip, I think. I think we should sell a bit of gossip. His office looks marginally cleaner than before, or he's managed to shuffle the mess into different shaped piles. Honestly, it's hard to tell. You spend a few moments waiting around the entryway before Pierre arrives, and he seems quite enthused by your presence. Why, if it isn't my newest confidant, please come in. Have you come back with more delicious information? Or perhaps you are trying to find someone, no? Where is Armand, and how do you know that I'm looking for him? I'm done trying to find Armand. He can seek me out if he cares so much. Yeah. Pierre cocks an eyebrow at your response and rummages around his snuff box while he examines you more closely. Ah yes, the sting of desertion can certainly sour one's opinion. Your Armand has been so thoughtless as to abandon you in this cruel city, this den of vipers, and now you seek to chart your own course, no? I doubt anyone could blame you for wanting to seize your own destiny instead of chasing his. Now then, to business? Yeah, business. Look at all this gossip we have. We've got some bourgeoisie and some church gossip. Value. All of this is... Ooh, this is about to lose its freshness. And that did lose its freshness. This gossip is all the same. But we can sell this one because it's less fresh. Perfect. We can peddle influence with it, or we can sell it. A country priest in Paris for the Estates General has been granting asylum to accused criminals. Is he intervening on behalf of the people or obstructing justice? Ooh, let's sell that gossip. Let's use this one to peddle some influence. Push the church towards the crown slightly, or push the church towards the revolution slightly. Ooh. There's a 1 in 10 chance of the public. We can push it. Let's push the church towards the crown. The allegiance of one faction has been changed. While the crown and the revolution will always oppose each other, the church, military, and bourgeoisie are currently undecided. Their allegiance will determine who they side with in the coming conflict between the crown and the revolution. Okay. So we can sell this gossip because it's the same. These two are the same. Sell this. We'll peddle the influence and we'll push the bourgeoisie to the revolution. Ah, there we go. and we'll sell this gossip as well. Get some good money out of this. Excellent. So that was 1 day done, which sucks that it takes so long. But oh, we got another. Oh boy. Cost me 5 credibility. Revolution. Because that means that I'm going to have one on the 3rd, the 5th, and the 6th, which is quite a bit, but we did decline the Revolution one for the Poetry Salon, so we should probably go there. Okay. Now, we should... What is this one? Look at the... Actually, let's go to explore Paris. And buy our next thing. You think? Let's buy our next outfit. And then we can rest for a day so that we don't have any exhaustion, and then we'll do something. Okay. So our next event is for the crown. So a robe en chemise is crown based. Wait, what did they say? They wanted conservative gowns. They sometimes like caraco ensembles and robe de polonaise. So this one is a no. This one's a no, and this one's a no. This is 143, this is 140. Oh, they're so expensive. That's not good. That's really expensive. I was not anticipating that expense. Now I do have a military thing coming up, but I can use the provincial outfit for the military event. This one I could use for the crown event because it is a caraco ensemble. And then this is the military event and bourgeoisie, but its novelty is at 80, so I could sell it. You know, I should probably just leave it right now, actually, because I have this provincial outfit that I can wear for the military event. But then what am I wearing for the crown event? I can wear this one, this humble one. I think that would work. Well, this was unfortunately a waste of a day. Unless I buy something for the revolution afterwards. So a revolution would be that robe à la française. Unless I have something that's good for the revolution. No, I don't. Okay, so let's find something for the revolution. This one's only $83. This one's $69. And I can use it for the church and the military as well. And I don't have one of these already? I do have one of these, but it's not the same. I see. Same name, but different, like, stats, I guess. So we'll purchase that one, and we'll leave the shop. And it's the 1st of April, 1789. What day is this? This is the 13th, so this is a week difference. So we should definitely we'll get some more credibility for that. We have 2 days. Maybe we can do this researching Maximin. Let's do this. You head to Les Halls, hoping to track down some information in regards to a mysterious servant who suddenly and quietly left the employ of your hated foe, Baron Maximin de Termes. Yeah, let's go. Let's figure it out. You walk the streets near the marketplace Les Halles and just listen. Porters, commoners, and servants bustle to and from. They haggle, exchange coin for wares, and occasionally lean in to slyly share the most interesting and scandalous news of the day. The marketplace buzzes with activity, like a beehive. I'm not sure why they have a quote there, a quotation mark. A man stands on a corner reading the latest current events aloud from a newspaper. Any passers-by willing to listen. Sometimes people throw a coin into the hat placed at his feet. Far from the nobility, this feels like the right place to inquire about Maximin's mystery servant. The man on the corner, or the... No, we should ask her on the marketplace. The man on the corner probably won't know. Delving into the marketplace proper, you talk to the various merchants, trying to learn a little more. It's like fishing in a river for one particular fish. However, you walk away with one valuable piece of information. All of the servants who suddenly left Maximin's employ were men, except for this one. The mystery servant is a young woman. You've never heard of anything like that before, but it's certainly possible. If nothing else, it would make this person quite distinct. However, there are over 1 million people in Paris. Knowing what they look like is simply not enough to track them down. Acting on a hunch, you check in with the crier you saw reading the newspaper aloud earlier. Only a few people have stopped to actually listen to him. His clothes look like they're of fine make, but they're old enough to be in a state of disrepair. The estate's general approaches. Representatives from the Third Estate expected to demand changes to noble privileges. Joseph Michael Montgolfier designing a new flying balloon. A moment, monsieur. Oh, merci, madame, the crier says to you, feigning the appropriate amount of surprise. He folds up the newspaper and tucks it under one arm. You have spent 1 lira. Okay. How may I help you? The Baron de Termes had a servant who quit for mysterious reasons. Know anything? I'm looking for dirt. Oh, that is quite the mystery. Nobody asked about the mystery servant rumor for a while. He pauses to think for a moment before continuing. I remember my cousin tried to claim that this servant had committed murder in cold blood, but that turned out to be a pack of lies. Ah yes, I remember now. The servant is still in the city somewhere, working at a cafe. The good Baron threatened the owner to fire the servant, but the cafe owner wouldn't budge. Other than that, I'm at a loss, madam. Now, you must excuse me, I must return to my work. He unfolds the newspaper and returns to yelling to the crowd and soliciting donations. While all of this knowledge is still fresh in your mind, you take out your journal and write down everything you've learned. Maximin's mystery servant works at a cafe in Paris. They're a woman with eyes that are different colors from each other. Ooh, heterochromia. It's a solid lead, but you still have a ways to go before you can use it to hurt Maximin. So we now have a vital clue for finding Maximin's weakness. However, you'll need to figure out where to search next, on your own. Done for the day, you return home to plan your next move. Very good. Very good. So it's the day before the party, so we're going to probably just stay at home and chill out. So that we don't have a 5. Or no, we don't need to. We can take a little bit of exhaustion. Let's see. So there's a cafe here. There's the palace. Music to your ears. The Maid and the Archer. And home. Oh, and the perils of journalism. So I could go to the cafe and see if this is where they are, or I could go to another. Let's go to the Maid and the Archer. See what's over here. Maybe, what's this? Gossip? Crown gossip? Oh, cheap military gossip, cheap crown gossip, cheap church gossip, bourgeoisie gossip, or revolution gossip. And this is just a cafe. This is credibility. This is Lyra, credibility, and peril. Across your own maid of all works. You seem to be in a bit of trouble. . 'Cause 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 'C Well, I think we should go to the palace and maybe get some... you just didn't expect to catch up with him quite so quickly. Yes. Let's go get some gossip, because we always need some gossip. Right? Or do we want more credibility? The maid and the archer. Let's try it. It's an incident. Let's try it out. You spend the day walking through the city, exploring the neighborhood near a marketplace. The air is pungent, a rush of scents from crisp vegetables to fresh fruit and less than fresh fish. Your ears suddenly perk up at the sound of a familiar voice, and you start slipping through the crowd in its direction. You stumble upon Camille, her arms full with a basket full of the day's groceries. However, she's been stopped by a watchman of the Guet Royal, one of the infamous archers. He's berating Camille in the middle of the street. "Where'd you get those?" he demands, gesturing to all of her groceries. "What? But monsieur, you saw me buy these. I got them over there," she says, pointing in the direction of a market stall. "I saw no such thing," he says, blistering at the suggestion that he could have been paying attention to his surroundings. "Where's your receipt?" Camille's eyes dart from side to side, and she turns her feet away from him. Something about this line of questioning is making her very uncomfortable. I never get receipts, monsieur." "What? That's ridiculous. Why not?" "Well, I don't. I can't." Camille starts and stops, looking ashamedly at the ground. "You're going to have to give me a very good reason not to haul you away," he growls, and one of his hands extends out, low, with his palm up. "Ah, so what's this about?" "Monsieur, I'm so glad you found her. Please accept this payment for my thanks. It'll cost me some money." "Excuse me, monsieur, don't you have better things to do than harass my servant?" Or, Monsieur, a man has stolen my purse." Oh. Credibility challenge. I don't know. An easy one. Let's try it. The watchman stares at you, absolutely startled, as you suddenly interpose yourself between him and Camille. "What? You've been robbed? Which way did he go? We don't allow criminals here. Not on my watch." Look at Camille. She's so happy. Suppressing the powerful reflex to comment on the irony of that statement, you point him in a random direction. To sell the illusion, you provide a believable, yet suitably vague description of your imaginary assailant. Musket at the ready, the watchman runs off into the crowd, yelling after an imaginary cut purse. The moment you lose sight of him, the two of you start hurrying away. "Wow, madame, that was amazing," she gushes. "Normally I remember to bribe the authorities, but something came over me and I completely forgot." Gained a little credibility. Ooh, excellent. You spend the rest of the day escorting Camille about on her daily errands. It takes a few minutes for her to feel completely comfortable again, but it comes eventually. I wonder if she, can't read or something. Party day... 14th, that's the day after. Spectacular day of joyous celebration. Sure, why not? I got 2, and then I've got a bunch of days in between the 2 again. So what I should do in the middle is sleep. Then is rest. Then go to the party. This is a crown event, right? So this is what I'll have to do. Go to the party. Assess my preparations. I guess I have no strong feelings in your outfit, and your credibility has not changed much. Oh, but it went up a bit, I think by 5. With preparations like this, the results of tonight's could be a toss-up. You step down out of your carriage and hear the ripple of whispers that signal your arrival to any social event these days. There's a small line in the entryway of the cathedral as guests are waiting to get in. While you're standing in this line, you manage to overhear an interesting rumor. You make a mental note of it just in case. Cheap crown gossip. Wonderful. Unfortunately, you can feel the exhaustion set in as soon as you look past the door towards the enormous crowd of party guests. Tonight is going to be a long night. Credibility down. So I lost 5. A servant checks your invitation and everything seems to be in order. 10 liras for wine? Sure. She gratefully takes the gift from you and sets it aside. As you enter the party, you can hear the whispers of other guests noting your generosity. Peril down. Excellent, we lost 3 peril, and we gained some more credibility. Wonderful. Now let the games begin. What's this? In the vestibule, you hear some strange noises emanating from a coat closet. Now, whatever could that be? Uh-oh. Persons of quality. It wouldn't be a party held by the aristocracy if someone didn't challenge your qualifications. In fact, a gentleman is approaching you to do just that. However, if you manage to outwit him, you might be able to get something useful out of it. Just cheap crown gossip? Ugh. A libertine gentleman has need of your skills in order to exact a devastating plot to avenge a petty slight. Ooh, really? Who's this? Distant days. You recall a far-off memory. It's of the time when you and Armand first met. Ooh. I don't know which one I want to do. Is that supposed to be Armand? Let's go talk to these guys. Tired of seeing so many of the same familiar faces, you wander into the vestibule. Cannot help but notice a brilliantly dressed man. Feeling curious, you approach him. Seeing you, he quickly plucks 2 wine glasses off the tray of a passing servant, then asks them to get you something as well. Bonsoir, it's an absolute pleasure to meet you. I am Guillaume de Sable, patron of the sartorial arts and libertine philosopher. It's a pleasure to meet you as well. I'm Yvette, a libertine philosopher. Why exactly are you lingering in the vestibule? I'll just introduce myself. Oh my, the infamous Yvette Dessau. I am honored to be in such a scandalous presence. If it helps, I'm no stranger to being decried either. It's usually awful, but you must admit that there's something fun about being hated by terrible people. It makes you realize how good your decisions have been. Another thing you and I might share in common, is a common enemy, at least by association, he says as a servant brings you a glass, filling it with a decent red wine. You've been wronged by the Baron de Termes, who absolutely despises me. I think it's because he can't stand the possibility that anyone in this day and age dare to be happy. He's so intent on seeming both superior and miserable. With that in mind, I think you would be the perfect person to help me gain the much-needed uphand on one of their most staunch defenders, the Comte de Sanson. You see, this man has been a thorn in my side for years, but recently crossed a line when he threatened to publicize some of my more torrid romantic affairs. Ooh, the scandal. Now that I'm ashamed, not that I'm ashamed, mind you, but I would hate for such a fate to fall upon those I happen to be involved with. Not everyone is as fortunate as I am to live as I do. Though they should, he mutters into one of his wine glasses while he takes a deep draught of wine. So, to preempt this problem, I'd like you to approach this despicable boor and claim to represent someone who is interested in marrying his detestable son. Of course, you can put it into kinder words. A chance to make such an awful man miserable? Where do I start? No, I have enough enemies already. I do not need to be making more. And what would I be getting? Fantastique, madame. You have made the right choice. As I was saying before, the Comte de Sanson has a detestable son who is burning through his family's fortune due to his excessive gambling. With that in mind, I'd like you to approach him and claim to be delivering a letter on behalf of a wealthy common woman from the countryside who is looking to marry his son and gain a title. I, of course, have already written the first letter, Guillaume says, handing you a letter that's been dipped in some sort of sweet perfume. Once he has his blockhead son write back to this address provided in my letter, I shall handle the rest until our grand reveal, where we shall utterly humiliate them both. The exact date can be determined later. I would just ask that you keep an eye out for me at future parties. However, I must give you fair warning. The Comte de Sanson is a boorish man, and generally suspicious of anyone smarter than him, which is not exactly a high bar to clear. So, if you act too canny, he'll start to suspect treachery of some sort. Ah, I see our Mark has entered the party just now. Please excuse me, as I should leave before he realizes that something is afoot. With that, Monsieur de Sable discreetly drains his wineglass and excuses himself. Letter in hand, you approach the Comte de Sanson. He appears to be in the process of berating his lackey. "You utter incompetent," he mutters as his servant scurries away to perform some sort of errand for him. "Humph, and you are?" he asks, barely even looking at you. "To you, I'm nobody at all, just a lowly woman sent to deliver a letter." Oh, good help is so hard to find, isn't it? Ah, it is good to see that some people in this damned country still happen to know their place. Yeah! Got some credibility. I shall happily relieve you of this burden, and you may return to whatever business it is that you were up to earlier. He continues in a voice that he assumes to be indulgent. However, his mood shifts the second he opens the letter intended for his son. As he reads the contents, he seems almost hungry. "Young lady, who entrusted you with this letter?" "Oh, monsieur, I was hoping you could tell me. I simply do not know." "A stranger who wishes to remain anonymous, so they will remain that way. And you're the one with the letter now. Your guess is as good as mine." "Oh, monsieur, I was hoping you could tell me. I simply do not know." "Well, I'm glad that you are aware of your significant limitations. I shall take the matter from here," he says, patting you on the back of the hand. You resist the urge to recoil from him, like one would from any other toad. "Yeah, lost peril again." This whole affair is puzzling, and I despise my wits being tested. Still, even if you can't deduce their identity, then I will be able to. I'm also sure my son will absolutely adore this woman's money. I mean company. Without another word to you, he leaves with the letter, reading it over and over again. It appears that Monsieur de Sable's plan has been set in motion. Ooh! Scandal. Cheap crown, Elizabeth favor. Oh, there's so much gossip here. Two guests in this room seem absolutely paralyzed with the weight of the rumors that they bear within their hearts, but neither of them are willing to speak for fear of discovery. Perhaps if you were there to get one of them alone, things would be different. Ooh, yeah, let's do that. You come across two people speaking, and I think we did it in the last episode, and we kind of messed it up a little bit, and we only got like cheap stuff, so maybe we'll try it a little bit different this time. Their entire persons give off an aura of both nervousness and excitement, practically reeks of secrets, and it draws you line like a moth to a flame. I'm not sure. I would, of course, tell you more about what I know about the church, but the risk of being discovered is too great. I am the same mind regarding my news from within the crown. What if my indiscretions were to become known? The damage to my reputation with them would be swift and severe. The man replies with intense seriousness. I suppose that means neither of us can disclose what we've overheard. The silence between them is so tense that it feels like they're absolutely bursting with the desire to spill everything they know. You've seen less tension between young men and women who've just realized that they like each other. Perhaps for the sake of discretion, we should be apart for the moment. I should follow that gentleman who claims to know something about the crown, the woman who knows something about the church. Let's go for the crown. You follow the gentleman, leaving behind his female companion. Soon, you catch up with him in a different room, so as not to arouse too much suspicion. Bonsoir, madame. I don't think I've seen you before. Do you come to such events often? It barely takes any prodding on your part to get him to talk. You've obtained a cheap crown gossip. Of course, obtaining secrets from someone who's terrible at keeping them essentially means that you're being discovered is all but inevitable. Oh, I've lost some favor with Crown. Oh well. Maybe I should have gone with the church then, but then again, I don't want to lose. I already lost some favor with the crown or with the church, so I don't want to lose more. Once you retain the gossip from them, it's like a floodgate has been opened, and you find them to be surprisingly entertaining. The conversation that follows is quite amusing, if a touch difficult to keep up with. Eventually, they're pulled away so they can be introduced to another guest. Perhaps it's time to see what else you can accomplish while you're here. Okay. So I gained 4 credibility, I lost 10 liras, I lost 8 peril, thankfully. I lost 1 Elizabeth favor, and I got some cheap crowns. So I really didn't get a lot. It was kind of a crapshoot. And now I go into the next day, into the next party. Oh no, I have a day between. And this is the military ball. So what am I doing for military? The provincial outfit, right. Perfect. Oh yeah, it was Armand. Like, not actually him, but like a memory of him. Okay, so the Crown Major faction power is 1. So the church is currently has the allegiance to the crown. The bourgeoisie currently has allegiance to the revolution, and the military is currently sitting at 1 allegiance towards the crown. Okay. And then I've just got some crown gossip here. 1 day old. Okay. So I can explore. I have 2, so I'll take a 10 credibility hit. But I think that that's okay. So then I've got a bunch of time off in between the 2. So maybe I should sell what I have? What's this one? I can either lose or gain 10 credibility, and I can lose or gain 100 liras. Ooh, I don't want to risk that actually, because I do not want to lose 100 liras and be in debt. No thank you. I don't trust myself enough. Outrageous crown, outrageous revolution. You come across one of the hirelings of one of your earliest enemies, but what are they up to? Ooh. Let's go see. See what they're up to. Your exploration of the city extends later into the day, and you find yourself wandering relatively empty streets. I love the thought of this, like having like the lamplighters at night, and like no cars on the roads, everyone just walks everywhere. Such a nice thought. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot a disreputable looking man stepping out of an alleyway, glance about, and walk away at a faster than normal speed. This normally wouldn't be a cause for your concern, as you've seen plenty of the city's criminal class on your walks. However, right before he passes you, you see him tuck a letter into his coat, a letter written on fine paper, sealed with the same colored wax used by Baron Maximin de Termes. Against your better judgment, you start following this suspicious man. Oh! You manage to stealthily shadow this man's twisting route for nearly a half an hour when he suddenly whirls about to turn on you. The dwindling sunlight glints off a weapon in his hand. Who the devil are you? He spits. Medium credibility challenge? Do you think I have enough? I'm the only person who can stop you from getting caught, you incompetent fool. Your employer sent me to oversee this little job of yours. My employer sent you to follow me? I find that hard to believe. They told me that this was a simple one-person job. Gain some peril. Shit. What are you... What are you really doing? Following me like some sort of skulk? You must understand, I'm the second stage for the letter delivery. Second stage? Nobody told me this delivery was going to have so many moving parts. He sighs angrily. This operation is growing more slipshod by the day. I swear, after that business with the Baron de Marbeau, everything has gone awry. Some days it feels like I'm the last man left with any common sense. With that, he pulls the letter from his coat and hands it to you. Then, without another word, he storms away. He seems to be muttering something about incompetence under his breath. Oh shit. With the letter in hand, you press your back against a wall and make sure you're alone while you learn something about your erstwhile nemesis. With a quick slice from a small knife you keep in your bag, you delve into the letter to see what perfidy Maximin is up to. In this letter, you manage to find some damaging gossip. Extremely damaging, in fact. Outrageous revolution gossip. Carefully rereading the letter again, you may also manage to gain some knowledge about their future plots. It should be a little easier to sidestep their machinations now. Lost a little peril. Okay, good. Tucking the letter into your stays, you quickly head home before anyone has a chance to ask questions about your curious behavior. Night has fallen by the time you make it back to your house. This was a fruitful day indeed. Ooh, wow. The 5th of April, 1789. You look up at the sound of Camille knocking on your doorframe. Good morning, madame. The house's rent is due today, as are my wages. You have the necessary 40 liras, but I wonder if you could put them to better use elsewhere. No, that's fine. Merci beaucoup, madame, Camille says with a curtsy as you hand her the money. Yeah, I need to pay them. I can't not pay them. Camille leaves to deliver the money, and with that business concluded, your day may continue. Another one. A coffee tasting in between? No, this is a lot of... We're gonna decline this one. Yeah, we lost a little credibility. Whatever. Oh boy, we're gonna be exhausted. This is not gonna be... We're not gonna be able to do anything for credibility over the next two parties. Wow. However, the next two parties are gonna have to wait until the next episode. So stay tuned to part 4, which will be coming up soon, where we will continue on our week into April. We will attend the military party, the ball, sorry, the coffee tasting, and spending out the rest of our week before we attend the Feast of St. Aaron. So as again, my name is GustShrugs. I'm part of the Snugs and Shrugs YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you like the video, please feel free to like it. If not, go ahead and dislike as well. If you have not subscribed, go for it. We are growing and we love the support that everyone's given us so far. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!